Howdy. Welcome back to Tailgating. Let's just go ahead and get it loud. Now let people know where I'm at. In Houston, that's okay, Steph. I was at the vet picking up a cat. Steph, how do you do your nails when you do? Let the music play, because I know Steph loves music. And they're out. Howdy, all you lovely ladies there at the beauty salon. Don't mess up. That's my sister y'all are screwing with. It's a long trip from here to El Paso, but I come out there if I have to. We'll talk some Espanol. I'll get my ass whooped. Gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen that are listening to this portion of this show, don't go talking smack walking into a nail salon somewhere in El Paso and think that you're going to do anything but get whooped. Those women are tough, and they got sharp instruments, and they know how to use them. You will regret it greatly. And if they're listening, please be nice to my sister. She's a little bit light of skin for out there in El Paso, but she's a good lady. And if you take the time to get to know her, I'm fairly certain that y'all will enjoy her company. Howdy, Paul. Paul, on the other hand, he's in England, so you're not going to be able to get a hold of him for a while. So just in case anybody's asking or wanting to know, yes, I am back on the Alec Bradley Black Market kick because they're back available where I purchased them. I really enjoy when I am quite literally racing home from the veterinarian, hoping to get everything set up in time. Begging, everything goes off flawlessly. Unlike Martin's show, where we all kind of hope just slightly, sort of, kind of, that there's some sort of malfunction that just really goes epically wrong. And no, not because I hate Martin, but because if you've ever seen one of Martin's shows go epically wrong, you understand. It gets funny. And he muscles through and makes it work. Look, there's a lot of us that we are going to literally go, screw it, we're done. Martin just walks in and says, malfunction or not, let's just do this. Mad props for that. Howdy, Flat Cap. Raphael and Boris. Huva ilta, Boris. I'm gonna tell you, my nose is trying to run all over the place, but it's dry as a bone, so it's just itching like crazy. So if you see me wiping this, it is not because I am sick. It is just because my allergies are killing me right now. And my back's itching. We're not going to go into that. That's psoriasis. And no, not my backside, just my back. Nope, not on the death nuts. If I was on death nuts, this would actually be running. Tears and nose. By the way, any of y'all have a crazy disposition towards hot peppers and spicy foods? I'm willing to go so far. Let's not say that I am the biggest, baddest, toughest SOB on the planet. But I am willing to put a good, well, I'd say college try, but let's just say that I didn't spend enough time in college for there to be a college try. In fact, I think I spent more time inspecting boilers at colleges than actually attending classes at colleges. Never let them tell you you can't light a cigar with a Zippo. Would that be football for all of the world except for America, where we call it soccer? At least I'm asking Boris. Paul, I'm not saying that it would kill you, but there's a lot of people on the planet that think that they can handle hot and spicy stuff, and then they run into something like death nuts, and it really changes their ability to say whether they can do such things. Ah, good. So we are talking football. No problem. I enjoy a good game of soccer as much as the next Yank. Probably more so, honestly, because I actually do understand. Look, a 0-0 game that is decided in the 91st minute is an awesome game. I mean, There's a lot of Americans that think that it's boring. Most of them haven't tried running on a field that size for that long of a time. You got to remember, most of the guys who actually are participating in the game of soccer, uh, most of them will be able to run a 5K. Now, sure, 5 kilometers doesn't seem like it's all that much, right? There's people out there running 26.2 miles. Uh, I don't know what a marathon is in kilometers, but let's just say it. When you're out there and you're for 90 minutes running around and you cover about 5K worth of space, but you're also doing it while trying to track down a little ball and do a professional job of not letting that ball get into your side's goal, that's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Well, Turkey's kind of Middle East, isn't it, Boris? I know there might be somebody from Turkey that wants to disagree with me there. I always thought of Turkey more as Middle Eastern than as European. But okay, if I mean, I guess it's fine. Now, see, unfortunately, I'm a sports fanatic. Banger racing. What about mash racing? Is there mash racing to go with banger racing? That way you can have bangers and mash? Look, I would watch synchronized knitting if I had a way to score it. Tour de France, I catch a good, at least one section of that race every year. Does not matter. Oh, okay. Demolition Derby. I understand. See, over on this side of the pond, we call it Demolition Derby. Over there, I guess y'all call it banger racing. How about school bus racing on a quarter-mile oval? I've actually seen it live. I'm going to tell you, school bus racing on a quarter-mile oval gets exciting, especially when the winning bus comes across the finish line on its side. I watch motorbike racing, I watch F1, I watch NASCAR. God. I watch sailboats, like the America's Cup, and I mean, not to be mean to anybody, but my favorite sailing team is Team Australia. And I cheer for teams from all over the planet, so y'all don't get me twisted or nothing. Uh, the only time I'm really going to be cheering for any team other than my normal teams is if that particular team happens to be up against Team USA in like the Olympics, or no, not even in the big sailing races. I never could get into Team USA. they just don't win enough. And is that wrong of me to say, look, I really enjoyed watching these hydrofoil catamarans that are literally meters out of the water just flying along. I believe 100 knots has been achieved. It's ridiculous, crazy how fast these boats get going. Ah, Raphael, I didn't know that you lived in Japan. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, sumo wrestling is extremely interesting once you finally understand all that goes into it. And it might take the average person a while. Now, if you're really truly a sports aficionado, you're gonna really start digging in there. Howdy, Mr. Rivera. Good to see you, sir. See, I think Finland has some hijacked cable that feeds directly from Minnesota. Uh, let's see. What is Boris's favorite American football team? It's that one from Minnesota, the Vikings. What's his favorite baseball team currently, I guess? The Twins. Don't worry, Boris, your secret is safe. There's not enough people that actually watch this channel for it to ever really be a problem. Now, see, I can barely ever get any sumo wrestling here in my portion of the United States. It's not coming on unless you're just in one of those weird situations where it shows up. But man, do we get a ton of football games. There is Major League Soccer, which is MLS. There is 3 different European leagues that we get on a regular basis. I don't know how in the world to ever tell them all apart, because mostly I get European commentary, so it's either in German or French or Spanish, and it is going so much faster than I can actually understand. Every once in a while it'll be 2 British teams, and I'll get some English that I can barely understand. They say words that don't make sense to me, and that's okay. Don't worry about me, Phil. I think you are an extraordinary pipe maker. I've seen your stuff. I've been like, damn, that's a nice pipe. I want to be able to do that if I ever get to that stage where I can say, oh, I'm a pipe maker instead of just a tinkerer. Not a problem, Raphael. You be careful wherever you're headed. We definitely want to see you back again. And howdy, Eddie. Good to see you, sir. By the way, anybody who's not following Flat Cap Piper, y'all might want to do that. Coming up really soon is a red carpet event. Philip, you cannot hurt my feelings. And if you're feeling like you need to apologize to somebody else, you're welcome to. But to me, you'll never have to apologize. Glenn and I banter all the time back and forth. I have outrageous amounts of fun. We're picking on each other, and there's actually been a few comments that I've erased from some of my videos where a couple of people came to defend Glenn, and then there was a couple of comments that were where I commented on some of Glenn's videos, and people have again come and to try and defend Glenn, and I'm, if I'm picking on somebody, first off, in my way of thinking, it's a show of respect, because I believe that A, you can handle it, don't worry, Phil, I love you, brother. It's great. And two, so A, I think you can handle it. B, I believe that you're going to dish it back to me, which I love. One-sided fights are no fun. There's got to be some give and take there. Dish it out. I'm okay. Shovel it at me. Hit me in the head with a shovel if you have to. I don't care. I'm good with it. And of course, C, that uncomfortable feeling that people that don't understand that I'm completely just messing around. I really like these people that I'm talking smack about. Well, I mean, most of them. I mean, there's a few, like, there's this guy who is making videos, and he's not smoking at all. And he'll think that you're upset because he shaved everything that I'm not covering up right now. That might be different. True, yeah, there's really no body language available in text, which does kind of make it difficult. And please, if anybody feels like I'm picking on you just a little bit too much and you would like me to tone it down, say so. I don't have a problem saying, hey, look, I'm a bit rough. I understand that. I know I'm a bit rough. If Phil, we're always going to be good, brother. We are always going to be good. Wait, somebody scored their own in their own end, Dave? That's ridiculous. Howdy, Dave, by the way. James, Dingus McSwine II. Hola, senor. ¿Cómo estás? I know you're all the way out there in Washington. You're about as far as you can get from Mexico, and yet I'm betting you understood what I said. Well, James, I'm so mean to you, like I said, because I think you can handle it. Steph, I'm pretty sure he'd win. Not a problem, Philip. Great seeing you here. Come back anytime you want to. I got this feeling that Phil would hit me over the head with a cane and I'd just lay there in the mud for a while. Okay, so is it now 2 to 1 or 3 to 1? James, I am actually extremely aware of the area from where you're at. So here's an interesting statement of truth. Uh, Back in 2004, somebody thought it would be really, really funny to mail white powder all over the United States. Some of y'all will remember that, some of y'all won't, and that's okay. Um, well, the problem with this white powder happened to be that so much of it was laced with a certain chemical agent known as anthrax. So a lot of people got sick. And I ended up on a contract to be an electrician to install certain equipment at post office all over the planet. So that we could limit or eliminate the threat of that kind of thing ever happening again. I got to go all over the planet. It got ridiculous. I was only at home 2 weeks of the year, the week before Christmas and the week after. One of the best jobs I ever had. No bills, reasonable hours of work, plenty of time off with nothing to do but go see things, go do things. Awesome. I saw the Yankees and Red Sox at Fenway, sitting on the Green Monster. Because some guy that worked at the post office that had season tickets couldn't go, couldn't sell them fast enough. So he was walking by us and he was like, "Hey, when do y'all get off? Any of y'all interested in going to see a game? I mean, I got these seats. They're just going to go to waste." Shit, I'll go. Hello? I don't remember the game. Jim! Howdy, Jim. Great to see you, sir. Hello. James, you better say hi to Steph before she decides to hurt you. Wait, whose birthday? It's not my birthday. I remember being in Phoenix, Arizona on the same weekend as a NASCAR race. And you can sit up on some hills and literally look right down on the track. Didn't have to pay a dime for that one either. And my beer was much better and much cheaper. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'd mentioned it earlier, but I never said why I was there. I went to the vet today. We believed that one of my cats, the little gray tabby cat called Teddy, was going to have some teeth pulled. They were very covered in tartar, and they were looking like it might be they were looking like it was just a lost cause. And well, better to have them pulled than to have cavities end up killing your cat. And he's the nicest cat. So we got in there, and they gave him basically a super cleaning, and all of his teeth are fine. He just had a shit ton of tartar on there. Estimated cost from 2 weeks ago, when we had the estimated cost delivered to us, almost $600. Actual retail value, $275 total. That little kitten saved me some money by having good teeth, just bad tartar. The sink is broke. Well, Steph, if I knew what was broke on the sink, I could probably talk you through how to fix it. Something tells me anybody who knows how to knit or crochet is handy enough that they could probably do it. But I don't know what's wrong, so it would be very difficult for me to actually fix it. I had an issue recently with the little sprayer nozzle on the sink that I've got. But it's just because of the hard water. Dipped it in some CLR and left it alone, and hey, look, there it is. It works just fine again. Pretty much any sink can be fixed pretty easily if you take pictures of the fittings and you have the right tools. Sometimes having the right tools is the difficult part. Odie, how are you doing, sir? Did you get bit by a dog? Actually, I do know a guy who does yard work that did have to go to the veterinary office to get a shot for rabies, because he did get bit. And you could go to the hospital or you could go to the vet. And he knew that. So he went to the vet. Steph is out spending money. Yes, I know. Dropped off the car to get a tire and did girl stuff. Come on. That sounds like so unpiped smokery. All right, Odie, I'm laughing. That was funny. That was funny. James, I think that's when you're breathing out the side of your neck. Here in the Houston area, we call it aqua lung because you practically do need a set of gills for living in Houston. We rarely drink our water, we breathe it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the weekend. This basically starts off the American weekend. All of our friends in Australia, from New Zealand all the way to the American coast have been in Friday, and some of them are all the way into Saturday already. I'm happy to report that it's above 90 degrees. Well, James, yes and no on Western Washington being like that. Western Washington, the crazy thing is their actual humidity is lower, but their amount of rainfall is like 5 times as high. The issue there is they get a breeze in off of the water and it goes up a mountain, cools off, rains, and washes right back out to sea. Here it just stays in the air. It never falls. I mean, I would love to say that I'm sweating, but it's so wet out here I couldn't tell. 3-0. Italy is killing them today. Just a Blanton's and an Eagle Rare. No big deal, right, Odie? No big deal. I still like Rare Breed better than Eagle Rare. But Blanton's is pretty high up there. The thing about Blanton's is I think you're supposed to quit trying to collect Blanton's once you have the full Blanton's name, which, according to the story I heard, if you put the Blanton's name together, you will see the last basic portion of the race where Secretariat was destroying the world. That would have been not Kentucky Derby. It would have been the race in New York. Slips my mind, I'm sorry. I'm kind of jealous of these guys who are actually getting to watch Italy just dismantle the hell out of Turkey. But then again, not really, because yes, these European teams, they could compete most definitely on the professional level. But some of them are, some of them are right out there with Arsenal and Chelsea. And some of them are the ShamWow Rockers, or however that works. Boris, I actually had to use a check tool recently to open a beer can. could not get that damn little tab to pull up at all. I just reached in there with the check tool and it was enough. Just enough to get that little tab up. Of course, I don't have any fingernails, so maybe that would help. I'm not a plumber. I can bite my nails. It's plumbers that shouldn't bite their nails. Everett. Howdy, brother. How you doing today? We can start letting Everett go on the Captain Black. Come on, guys. We've got to come up with something different than that for Everett. It's almost painful watching this man get reminded that he smoked Captain Black grape. What's even worse is when Willie at Nashville Mafia says, it's pretty good. I would get classy and get bottles, except for when a 12-ounce bottle and a 16-ounce can is the exact same price for a 6-pack. You can be classy or you can be smart. Same beer. But these cans give you 4 more ounces per beer. Which means you get 2 extra beers out of it for the exact same price. Yeah, that's the reason y'all have seen me drinking cans lately. Jesus Christ, $1,000 for a bottle of bourbon. Seriously. I'm just gonna have to ask a question for anybody who's thinking of purchasing a bottle at $1,000 for a bottle. Once that bourbon passes through your kidneys and liver, what does it become? That's right, urine. Yes, James, I agree with you there. Same can be said about tins versus bulk. Not too very long ago, I bought, what was it, 5 ounces in bulk, and I looked at the price for 2 tins of the same blend, which would have been slightly less than the 5 ounces. And I was astounded with the fact that it was double the price for the tins. What do I want with the piece of metal unless it's got an awesome tin? Who cares? Odie, I agree with you there. If you're gonna buy it at 70 and sell it for 1,000, you go. That's good. Steph, just remember, it's not August yet. I know that doesn't help when it's 109 degrees outside, but it's not August yet. Yes, if you're buying a bottle in the full knowledge and hopes that the prices will go up, you're buying for investment, not for enjoyment. It's one of the things I like about Turkey Rare Breed is it's on the shelf. I don't have to worry about it being not on the shelf. It's going to be there. It's not super aged, super limited, or super rare. It is nice and good, though. It's strange because you would think that if they watered down a bourbon a little bit, it would be a little smoother. But no, the stuff that comes straight out of the barrel, no water added at all, as smooth as it gets. Oh yeah, Jim, you're definitely going to be having deep fat fry issues here before too very long. Vegas and El Paso are very similar in that. The sun starts beating down on them, the sky turns completely cloudless, and it basically goes through the space lens just like you used to use a magnifying glass as a kid to burn the hell out of ants. Yeah. That's another thing I don't understand investing in. The Kentucky Spirit single barrel is pretty good. But they do water it down because Rare Breed, which is barrel proof, and if I remember correctly, Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit single barrel is out of a single barrel, but then they drop it down to 101, if I remember correctly. Now, they're not adding that much water to actually get it down to 101. I mean, it's going to be like 108, 109% when it comes out of the barrel. But they are adding a little bit of water. But you're right. Kentucky Spirit single barrel is pretty good. Pretty damn good. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. You gonna open that when the Las Vegas pipe show shows up and everybody shows up at your house? Inquiring minds. Yes, Eddie, Rare Breed is actually barrel strength. Straight from the barrel, nothing added. It is actually what it is. So I guess it is Dave's birthday. Y'all can sing if you want to. Nobody wants to hear me sing, so I will refrain. You're welcome, Dave. That'll be your birthday present. Me not singing. Jim has said opening up his bottle of stuff from the cellar from 2013 is a big denied. Hashtag nope, you heard it here first. Odie, I definitely agree that demand exceeds price. I don't need it. Somebody's coming up to try and offer me to trim all my trees. I want the shade. It's summertime. Howdy, Sharon. How are you doing today? Isn't it though, James? Isn't it? I'm glad we could all get together and wish Mr. Outer Banks Dave Piper himself a happy birthday. Ooh, looky there. Jim is saying scotch. He's not saying rocks. You might have to provide your own rocks. Or for those of us who know about scotch, just drink that shit neat and be happy with it. But yes, if the wine is Mrs. Pine's, you might be SOL on the wine. Good for you for drawing that distinction. Make sure that people know ahead of time. Jim, actually, if I was going to Vegas this year, I'd be more interested in trying some of that beer you've been brewing. I am kind of a beer nerd. Well, I'll take your word for it, Odie. I could still get Turkey Rare Breed barrel proof at $65 on a bottle. So, just saying. It's probably why I like it. I know the price. And it's not going up. It's never going up. At least not as long as Jimmy is alive, and that's because Jimmy has said it's never going up as long as I'm alive. Awesome, sir. Neat is the only way to go. Well, that's nice. Try for a amber bock of some sort, Mr. Pine. Jim. Next time y'all decide to be brewing, find out if you even want to make an amber bock. You might have the next best thing to Ziegenbock or Shinerbock. You know, those beers that are Texas native and hard to get outside of Texas. But, well, Shiner's out there a little bit, but Ziegen is not. Long story about that. I don't have enough time. We're not going to get into it. Yeah, I've had the baby blue corn whiskey. I wish that they had decided to do everything to make it bourbon before they had decided to release that. Because shortly after they decided to call it the blue corn whiskey, the rules for being bourbon had to be produced in Bourbon County were finally relaxed, and if their original had been done exactly as a bourbon has to be, other than being made in Bourbon County, it would be a bourbon. They'd have gotten extra money out of that. It's pretty good stuff, though. Oh, goodness. Boris, that is horrible. I'll remember if I'm ever coming to Finland to bring a bottle for me to drink and one for me to leave with you. Well, if you've got an amber ale, it's pretty much very similar. I guess it's part of the aging or lagering process that is the difference between an ale and a bock. It might be a different strain of hops too. I don't know as much about the difference between an amber ale and an amber bock as I would like. But I know that I like both. It is what it is. Yeah, Eddie, it is kind of interesting that, well, such as Jack Daniels. A lot of people say, oh, Jack Daniels bourbon. They put it on that bourbon list. It's not a bourbon. It's a whiskey. In fact, you will not find a single bottle of Jack Daniels that says bourbon on the label unless someone decided to put the words bourbon on the label. But legally, it's not a bourbon. It is filtered over a bed of charcoal, and therefore it cannot be bourbon. It's one of the rules. You do not change the color from the barrel to the bottle by filtering it through any media. Otherwise, it's no longer considered bourbon in any way, shape, or form. And it's got to be at least 51% corn. Just telling you the rules. In fact, Crown Royal is actually closer to bourbon than Jack Daniels. But Crown Royal is made in Canada, so therefore it cannot be bourbon. The only thing difference there is that it is bourbon. For all intensive purposes, it is bourbon. They just don't make it inside the United States, so it will never be bourbon. Dave, I am sorry that I am not loud enough, but I'm not going to be like John, the Night Piper, and yell at you. But I'm fairly certain that you're enjoying your time over there watching a foosball game. Had to say it that way. Some of y'all know what I was saying. Oh, wow, we should be getting, pretty soon here, we should be having a channel change. Everybody's going to be going over to Chad's anyways. Yeah, I can imagine that your last birthday kind of sucked. Hey, don't worry, my last birthday kind of sucked too. Easter this year. All right, everybody. Chad just came on. At least it looks like he just came on. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been so much fun having y'all over to my house today. So happy to see y'all here. Thanks for tuning in on your birthday, Dave, especially. And Jose, sorry that you showed up late, but we're about to go over to check out Chad's channel because he just went live. Everybody, please remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best y'all can. And as always, long lives big bowls and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you soon.